Good evening, Summoners, and welcome back to the LVL, League of Legends Varsity League. Like the Sky Summoners, as we head on to match 3 of UST versus FEU Tech. But before everything else, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Atlas for your shoutcasters for today.
Definitely, and as for that previous match, it was quite a show. We got a 1-1, and it seems like TUP isn't as dominating as we expected coming into the LVL, but it's good. It means the level playing field is definitely sustained, and that everyone's power levels are relatively even. And the match before that, UPD got a 2-0. So these first two days of LVL definitely very explosive. Lots of new blood as well as talent, and it's been very, very interesting. But of course, let's check out our third matchup today. Is actually between FEU Tech, Itamaraos, as well as UST Tigers.
I mean, we keep talking about the school itself. We know the schools who's playing, but let's see who are the players playing for their respective schools. I mean, we have UST. They did have champions before. I mean, one player I can always remember from UST was raised, now on to TNC, raised to the PGS, was former LCL champion. But now, let us see for the players of UST.
Seems like they have a share for the top lane, Mint for the jungle, Seth for the mid lane, Yale for AD carry, and D for support. And it's actually going to be Eman Kirizvos Malila as their coach. And
moving on to the next team, I think for, I would say this is going to be for FEU Tech, Cell in the top lane, Babyface for the jungle, Sarah for the mid lane, FE Lake for ADC, and Krisha for the support. And correction here, this is going to be UST playing, and the previous one was FEU Tech. But as for their coach, it's going to be Benson Organa.
Definitely, we've got some faces here that we saw last week, and they did have a pretty good showing. But definitely, it's going to be an interesting match between FIT and the Tigers here, because looking at their performance, it seems like we're gonna be in for a treat coming into this next match. But it's really going to be all about how they've adapted from the previous days, from the power levels of the other teams.
I mean, will this be another? At first, match 1 ended with a 2-0, and match 2 ended with a 1-1. Let's move on to match 3 between FIT versus UST, because the Itamaraos themselves, they had a rough start in the first week, ending their first week with a 0-2. That is a harsh, wake-up call, and let's hope that they take this the right way. Let's see if they practiced hard enough and come back from their huge loss in the first week.
Looking at the bans, it seems like there's a lot of respect for the top lane of UST. Cells, Gangplank, as well as his Ornn being banned out. Seems like Sarah's Talia will not be seeing play for this game. On the side of UST, they're stopping, UST, they're stopping a lot of engaged potential from the FIT team. That's the Galio, Leona, and Sejuani, all locked away. So
that's the problem here, leaving the Kazakhs open. One of the scariest junglers in the preseason, and I think you've actually witnessed the power of the lethality getting boosted up due to the resistances being stripped down from all
the base stats for most of the champions is being scaled down to make way for the new rune system. Definitely makes these assassins much scarier. Banning out all of those tanks as well leaves Tristana and Lulu open for FIT. As for UST, they'll be picking up this high damage bot lane. It's going to be the Zyra and the Caitlyn, along with a little bit of burst damage and ganking, probably going to the jungle. J4 could also go for the top lane, but I'm thinking that they need a lot more pressure to match the Kazakhs right now.
I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to the jungle Jarvan, because Jarvan itself as a jungler of this preseason has a very low chance of winning, because when you're talking about junglers who are more effective, leave it to the assassins, the Nidalee, the Elise that we saw from UPD, and not to mention the Kazakhs right now being shown. But yes, unfortunately, it will be the Camille going towards the top lane against the Shen. This is a good matchup for the Camille, but for the jungler, I'm pretty scared for the Jarvan, because if this Kazakhs invades this Jarvan at a very early level,
hard.
Easy kill for the Kazakhs.
Because it seems like right now, if this composition wants to work out, FIT wants the Jarvan to go to the resilience tree to not be too squishy. So definitely a lot more vulnerable to high pressure counter jungling like the Kazakhs can pull out, Babyface will need to double down his efforts in disabling this pressure that the Jarvan can pull out.
And let's see for UST how they will utilize this jungle Kazakhs, one of the most potent assassins right now due to the preseason. And let's hope, will this Jarvan actually running the Resolve 3, as you said, will be picking up the Aftershock instead of, I would say, the Electrocute.
Definitely less burst, but a lot more resistances upon going into a gank. So after he goes for a flag and drag, he's definitely going to have a little bit of damage and resistance as well. So, but looking at the compositions as a whole, it seems like UST has lots of actual disengage coming from their Lulu as well. Coming from their composition as well. There's a lot of things that they can do to really go for their win conditions.
When you're talking about disengagements, I would say they have more on hard engages for FEU Tech, whereas they have the Camille and the Jarvan. So
UST has the Jarvan and the Camille. It seems like going into this game, it seems to be that there's quite a few change-ups here. Usually you see the Jarvan to Electrocute, but of course with the composition that they have, having the Camille in the top lane, they can't afford to go all in on the damage for the jungle.
So let's see for match 3, game 1 with UST versus FIT. We do have the before we go into the game, we will be seeing all of the champions and the players in a good ways, because I think there are some confusions between us where we don't really know which side is which.
Oh, yeah, but everything's pretty clear now. Just look at the player names. But looking at everything after that, I do fear that FIT has a lot of scaling, right? So UST might have a little bit of trouble if the Caitlyn isn't able to pop off, if the Camille's not able to pop off. Oh,
I was right.
Graphics. Anyway, FIT is running on blue side. It's going to be a Sheer on top lane with Camille, Mint on the jungle with Jarvan the 4th. Seth is playing that Karma in the mid lane. She is playing that Caitlyn in the bot lane along with the support.
So let's move on to the rift itself to see everything in action. FIT on the blue side versus UST. Tigers on the red side. Will the Tamarars be the ones to come back from their huge loss in the first week? Let's see.
Definitely. So it seems like right now, FIT is going for something cheeky in the bot side, but they did pull away from that. It's Chroma, new skin. Rather new Chroma for the Mecha Kazakhs.
Do we have tigers in the Philippines?
I don't think so.
I mean, we have Tamaros, right? The water buffalo?
Yeah, we do.
So
we don't have tigers, though, unless you go to a zoo. But here comes both of these junglers starting on the bottom side of the map here. Blue buff for Babyface.
So let's see who will actually be the predator here.
Let's see who will actually apply more pressure on. Tamaros aren't predators; they're cattle. But they are both starting on this bot side, so definitely Cell and Ashir are gonna have to be a little bit more careful, not to actually be caught under the pressure of both of those junglers. Seems like UST Sarah's pulling that mid Janna, so definitely lots of protection onto Espiegel once the late game comes. But for now, he's gonna have. I think he might have a little bit of trouble in laning, at least in terms of asserting himself. But in terms of surviving, the Janna shouldn't have any problems.
The one thing I love about the Janna mid lane is because, just like that, very, very easy push, very easy CS. I mean, this Janna is going to be power leveling its way to the level 6 and then roam around because of the passive he gets from Zephyr. And already level 2 ahead of some EXP compared to this Karma. So, and just look at the pushing power of this Janna.
Right now, Seth is being pushed down, especially with Aerie giving Sarah a little bit of damage as well. At lower levels, Seth doesn't really have any way actually to match that kind of wave clear unless he mantras his soul into Soul Flare.
And not to mention in the bot lane, a lot of damages from the support, especially the Zyra and Caitlyn. Very powerful combination, and that's why we are seeing that FIT is pushing the bot lane turret of UST.
Seems like that will be the case here. As for the junglers, looking at them, they are around mid lane. They can transition to the top lane as well. A few pings going onto that top lane could be signaling that Mint is around the area. Babyface has no chance actually of counter ganking if ever. He's having a little bit of trouble with a Raptor camp. That is the most lethal camp, I believe, still at 7.22, and he escapes with a sliver of his life.
At least he will not be losing his buffs. And fortunate for him that Mint was not able to catch him in the Raptors, so that would be a bullet dodged by UST. But for FIT, they are going to be trying to gank the mid lane because of the Janna. But once you're level 6 on the Janna, forget about ganking it.
Just the Monsoon will just have too much protection, especially if you're not too hard in terms of the damage, which Mint is going for the Resolve tree. While Set right now, while he does have a little bit of damage, it's not enough actually to burst down that Janna upon reaching the higher levels in terms of the laning. But for now, it seems like the game plan for UST is just to have a very chill laning phase, let the Tristana survive long enough with the Lulu in Tau, and once Sarah is able to roam around, then that Janna is just going to empower that Tristana even more alongside the Lulu.
And I just love how when you're talking about the Janna and the Karma, both of them are support class mages. When the late game comes, no team is going to really have a huge burst, and I think that's a good thing. But when you're talking about burst, UST has Kha'Zix.
Definitely. So he's going to be...
But what does FIT have?
FIT doesn't really have too much burst here. So when it comes to when both of their hype carries start actually scaling up, it's going to be UST with the advantage here because they have more sustained damage from this Tristana. While if there are any stragglers, Babyface is right there to clean them up. As for UST, it's also very difficult to actually try and kill a Spiegel because he has two supports, while compared to FIT, D is more of a support that wants to kill you rather than one that wants to empower and protect the carry.
So let's see, will Babyface be the one to, eliminate the huge threats? Right now, this Caitlyn is going to be a very easy target for this Kha'Zix, and not to mention that Tristana is going to be a very slippery target for FIT. So when the late game does come, I would really watch out for the Kha'Zix. I mean, do not feed Babyface just yet.
Yeah, but for now, it seems like Babyface hasn't had any sort of pathing that leads to a good gank. Even though most of his lanes are getting pushed in, it's still quite difficult for him to actually realize any of these kills for now because of almost dying to the Raptor camp. It puts him back for so much time, lost in that jungle trying to clear the jungle camps. Mint is around the corner, catches Babyface without mana, so they have that information. FIT signals the rest of their lanes to actually either to get good recall timers as for the top lane, or continue pressuring this bot lane and the side of D and their AD carry.
And as for the CS, very even score for FIT and UST's bot lane. I mean, Spiegel against Neil, they're not that far behind. They're very even when it comes to farming, and I think this is actually impressive for UST because not to mention they're really being pushed in. Looks like a lot of damage will be onto Neil because of the press D attack here. Doing the top lane. We're seeing the lockdown from Hex. They only made him to Shen though. Very big in trouble. He's trying to get away. There is the driver for the first blood. Great
still
use
alive.
of the flash. I thought that would be the first blood, but there was the Spirit's Refuge to deny the damage, and now the counterattack from Babyface going on to the Jarvan was not in more flash, but there is Camille for the stun. They will now be backing him. I thought that was the first blood.
But that is indeed good use of the Spirit's Refuge. He had a shield as well. I was thinking that Sarah might be a little bit too late, but because Cell is able to survive on his own, that allows for a little bit of a 2v2 before they back off because Seth was on his way. Still, that was so close for Cell right there.
The great clutch with the Spirit's Refuge just denied so much damage, and if ever the Jarvan was able to go in with a knockup before he popped the Spirit's Refuge, he would have been being given the first blood. But close call and great play from UST and FIT.
Still very even in terms of the laning here, and this is really what UST wants, while FIT really needs to, really wants actually to apply some pressure using Mint here. Same with UST, however, they do have that safety of the two supports, 180 carry setup that they can have later in the game. Babyface needs to find more opportunities to gank, otherwise he will be behind Mint.
And when you're behind in the jungle, I don't think it's a huge, let's say, setback. But when you're talking about a CS of 46 to 33, that's something to really watch out for. I mean, I think it's probably be from the lanes itself, but right now Babyface making its way towards the bot lane. Looks like Neil will be flashing away, burning his summoners, but we do see Mint in the bot lane. May go for a counter gank, but it's a bit too risky.
Right now, he did burn the flash on Neil, so neither of the flashes on the bot side of FIT are available. So this could be something that Babyface can take advantage of. But Neil and D right now need to not push. They need to temper their aggression in this bot lane, because if they keep pushing Espiegel and Cresho into their turret, that means it's a vulnerable target for Babyface.
And so far in the top lane for Cell and Shira, I don't think any kills will be happening so far. But for Cell did manage to rush the Tiamat to really match the push coming from the Camille, so that's a great pick up there. At this point, level 6 has been reached. Level of their ultimates will be unlocked, so let's watch out for Cell. He may use the Stand United for an outplay in the bot lane.
That is very possible, but it seems like Babyface has to recall. Man, that would have been a great gank timing if he has the health and could go bot lane, because this is such a vulnerable spot here. FIT only has wards on that brush, but if he goes circles around behind the tri-brush of the bot lane of FIT, they could possibly get it. Mint, very, very sneaky, taking away resources from Babyface.
That is a huge setback.
Huge setback indeed for Babyface. That's less regen, less damage, and less sticking potential when he actually goes for ganks. And the XP is also big. So far, Mint has been out-jungling Babyface by a little bit.
And also the level difference is by 1, but in the bot lane, that would be a flash in by that bad call, but the first blood secured by the Tristana in the mid lane. Looks like Sarah's very low with the ignite, but Zed will be taking the kill. Krestu will be getting the Stand United, and for the bot lane, FIT oversteps.
And really, the decision there to actually focus the bot lane for actually the Shen there is really great. It gives them 2 kills in exchange for the 1 that they got in mid lanes. Where there, the value is really onto Espiegel, because he's the one that UST wants to put gold on. He's the Tristana, and that actually puts him so much farther ahead, being able to get the Zerker's boost on top of the pickaxe and the BF sword. So it's going to be very hard for him to lose any of these trades against Neil and D, especially if Cresho's right there to constantly shield him.
I wonder what happened in the bot lane. We had a quick span into the mid lane to see that Lojana, despite the flash and the shield, still managed to die thanks to the ignite. So I wonder what happened in there in the bot lane, but for the results, 2 kills was rewarded for the Tristana, immediately picking up the BF sword and pickaxe, and finishing up the Berserker Greaves.
The Berserker Greaves will definitely be helpful in those trades, being able to attack faster with the equivalent AD against Neil will definitely be helpful. Mint trying to go for something around here. Cresho taking a little bit of damage, shield helping him out. So right now, Mint just stopping by, seeing if he can gank, but seems like Espiegel and Cresho are playing a little bit safer, knowing that they don't have too much vision around that area.
Yes, I mean, 11 minutes into the game, kill score to 1-2. FIT is doing a really good job by responding, but the bot lane was a really big mistake. But now we're seeing Babyface
can't really go for something. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's so squishy without any of the runes from last season.
First turn though may go towards FIT.
This is a big possibility. They don't have enough damage to actually defend this. It seems like they might have to just give it up.
And the first turret does go towards FIT without much trouble, and that's going to be a huge gold for their ADC.
Yeah, that should
Neil.
put Neil almost equivalent in gold to Espiegel. So once he backs, he will be able to get the same gold value that the Tristana will get. So that's a huge boon for FIT getting the first turret. If they can transition this into other leads and other lanes, because the bot lane is more opened up and their bot lane has more freedom of movement, then they can actually transition it. But it seems like for now, they'll be going around mid lane.
Oh, I just love how this is very interesting, because we don't really see this often, right? I mean, once they secure the bot lane, they sometimes go for the mountain, but instead they're eyeing the mid lane to further open up the map to possibly get the Mountain Drake by lower chances of them actually losing the trade.
And that is quite dangerous as well. If they go for the Mountain Drake, it is the tankiest Drake out of the 4 elements, and they could get off guard, get caught off guard by Babyface if he jumps in while they're doing the Drake.
So far, I mean, no one is really going towards the Mountain Drake just yet. Watching their tempo here, they are trying to just stall for now, because when you rush things when you're ahead, we might see the same results what we saw for TUP in the top lane for Asidia. So let's not hope that these players are actually a bit too trigger happy, not being
A little
too
bit more
patient.
calculated. In the first match, Arctic and I were talking about how
Oh, here comes Babyface going in. He gets the wild growth, but does not get the kill. That will be Espigal going in for the resets. It gets out of the fight, pushing back Neil.
Here.
Great buster shot coming from the Tristana.
That was quite a strange fight there, especially for FIT. Mist knew that the rocket jump was up because of the reset from the kill. I don't know why he did a cataclysm, and I also don't know why Neil had to 90 caliber net closer to his target. Just sealed his doom right there, and that's free kills for UST.
That was so clean. The Tristana play there was very clean.
Definitely.
Gets the reset, buster shots to Caitlyn, and that being said, the duo bot lane has been taken down by UST. And
I
now
think
the turret.
This is going to be another turret of the game, the second turret of the game. First for UST, they will get a little bit of bonus gold, a little bit of this wave as well. Should be a good back timer for Espigal.
And now we're seeing Kazek's Babyface already in the Mountain Drake pit. Let's see, though, will he be taking it away? Just getting some vision out there.
Mint is in the top side. I don't know if UST actually has any vision of him right now, but they should know. But they do back off. It is a Drake that takes a long time to kill, and they don't want to get caught off guard while Mint's able to burst them down along with the rest of FIT.
And let's see, though, when the late game does come, I hope that this Camille can lock down this Tristana, denying the rocket jump resets.
The biggest thing that Ashira has to worry about, really, is the buster shot once he goes for the Hextech Ultimatum.
Let's see, though. I mean, yeah, that's a good combo there with the buster shot to really counter the Hextech Ultimatum, but now you've got to wait for the right timing. All about really playing the minds of the enemy team, baiting out the crucial ultimates.
So far, after that explosive fight and around the Drake pit, it seems like our teams are shifting over to a more a little bit slower kind of gameplay here with the top lane. The lane swap has occurred here for both teams.
Oh, but we do see the Jarvan closing in for the top lane rather.
Sarah
Same with
and Babyface as well.
Babyface. They're gonna see each other here. Very risky call. Babyface does not get knocked up, but does dodge the spores of the Zyra. Gets knocked up by the Cataclysm, but immediately jumps out thanks to the Monsoon. There's the reset. Teleport coming in. Cell is here. He does not have to stand united. There will be no shields ready. But with that said, FIT will just be backing up from UST.
They should be able to get maybe a turret here in the top side or other sort of objective like the Rift Herald, but it seems like they will go for this. They have a lot of members on this top side of the map. They can very easily get this, especially since Mint has to recall and recuperate.
And with that said, I mean, UST, they're not going to be waiting for FIT here. Immediately taking down this top lane outer turret very quickly. Oh, what's this? Teleport to Italian. Looks like they're going to be backing up away. And they started out jumping in onto the Karma. That's a very aggressive move. Will it pay up to SP getting a lot of damage? Flashes in, immediately popping the barrier. Very low in health. One ultimate should finish him off though. One hit there and another hit for the... Oh, there's the Camille though for the shutdown.
That's one thing. That's one mistake that the
mana, I think he lacked mana at that point.
To be able to give the chase, and there he actually jumped somewhere that's very unsafe.
Even though it flashed directly to the face of the Karma.
And that actually sealed his fate, sealed the fate of the Rift Herald as well. UST was not able to get the turret fast enough in that span of time that they were free.
I don't know what happened there in the top lane. If ever they just focused on the turret, they could just deny the teleport play there.
Definitely. But then again, there was the backdoor protection for that turret, so it could have been they maybe didn't want to go for the gambit. Instead, maybe sacrifice one life so that the other could be saved.
Popping the Void Assault, trying to back off. No Cataclysm for the Jarvan. And at this point, Babyface is not doing the threat that we were imagining.
Yeah, he
rushing
wasn't able
the Dustblade, not even rushing the Dustblade, getting the Warrior's Enchantment first.
Definitely. I think this is because he wasn't able to snowball. Only 2 assists on this Kha'Zix. He also lost a lot of camps because Mint was counter-jungling and Babyface was often recalling to recover his health after taking out those camps and having trouble with them. Because of this, he doesn't have the same amount of kill pressure and kill potential that other assassins would actually want. And here, he's more of a cleanup crew rather than someone that goes straight in on the carry rather than just diving in. So it's very difficult for this Kha'Zix to thrive unless he finds a really good opportunity. And he has to bank on Espiegel and Cell to do that for him.
And meanwhile, Espiegel, he should tone down his aggression here. I mean, Rocky jumping in front of the Karma and then flashing towards the Karma. That was the death play she was waiting for. And with that said, FIT takes the Mountain Drake uncontested, very clean there. So FIT have a chance to fight back the aggression of UST when it comes to pushing. And that Mountain Drake would have benefited the Tristana even more.
Explosive shot and just sheer amounts of attack speed and damage will just break down those turrets. But it seems like right now UST has the advantage in terms of the map. They can open up the map, which will be useful for Cell and the rest of their rotations. But for now, FIT, while they are behind in terms of gold, it's only by a little bit.
Oh, the aggression does not stop here. And look at the damage coming from Espiegel thanks to the press the attack.
Oh dear, that was. There are no words for that. There are no words for that.
He did not even use the buster shot.
That was a lot of damage right there. It seems like this could give UST a little bit of more opportunities to play around, maybe steal some resources from FIT, push in the waves. There's a few things that they can do here, and it seems like mid lane will be their target.
And will they be able to get it though? Kha'Zix though, focusing on the turret, forced to back up, but turret will be going down. No more here, but it's standing there. Will be trying to. Here comes the Espiegel with the Tristana, and now it's going to be FIT backing up away from the UST. But Babyface is not just going to let that slide. He will be taking down that Camille.
Man, that is over-aggression coming from Mint there. Mint and Ashira there, and it cost them their slide.
Also, another fight here in the side of FIT, trying to back up. Looks like Cell taking a lot of damage. He may be taken down here. Pops the stopwatch. Buying some time, but he still does not make it out of line. The Flash and the Monsoon, what a wasted resource. And now FIT fights back strong. Here's the lead here. Eisenhold will be going out the crucial. And now let's see T. Can he manage to hook something, strangle someone here?
I'm not sure why Babyface and Cell dove in behind the turret. They definitely could have just focused the turret, maybe open up the map a lot more for their team. That was highly unnecessary, especially since Babyface is not ahead. He has 1 kill and 2 assists, and even then, he didn't have the gold value of that kill before he went for that dive. He's not snowballing. He's not ahead. I don't know why he went for that together with Cell.
And when you're talking about, let's say, snowballing, you don't want to, give the lead to the enemy team. That's just going to work against you. And with that said, I don't really know what they were thinking for UST going for the side of FIT, not just pushing the turret. They have the Tristana.
Because at that point, the death timers were up and Neil was already going back to the mid lane. There was absolutely no reason to try and dive that. Should have just focused the turret. For now, it seems like they will be rotating to a different priority here. They want to dance around Baron, which has pawn.
I mean, a dance around the Baron, it's like you're dancing around your defeat in a way. I mean, you're gambling so much when you're going to be going for 50-50 Baron.
Yeah, just being able to have vision control over that area is already a huge boon. Having that information while denying it from the enemy team means that you can have a lot more freedom in terms of how you rotate around the map. Which, how UST might use that information, it's actually difficult to say since they don't have wards right there right now. FIT has the control over that territory right now.
21 minutes into the game with a kill score of 4-6. No crucial objectives taken away just yet, except for the Mountain Drake, because at this point the Baron could really change everything. But the next Drake will be Infernal. This could be something that UST can use for themselves, and I don't think that FIT can just give it away, or UST can just take the chances that FIT will be snowballing with those passive buffs.
The biggest beneficiary for that Infernal Drake will be Babyface, because he needs a lot more offensive stats right now because he wasn't able to amass gold by killing targets left and right during laning phase.
Let's wait though. He does have the components for the Dustblade. If he does pick it up,
That's a huge boost to his damage.
We'll see if he will be getting the resets, getting the high priority targets right now, because the Baron buff will not wait for his items. He has to rush in and try to get more gold, but it's so hard when his jungle is being countered, being taken away by FIT.
And right now, FIT is in a position to actually pressure them onto the turret. It seems like right now, Neil is such in a position to just constantly whittle down those turrets, whittle down those waves, and Babyface is feeling the pressure. The rest of UST is feeling the pressure.
And not to mention, they don't have a disengage tool like the Janus Monsoon when the Kazakhs go in. When the Kazakhs go in, Cell can just channel through the Stand United and provide a free shield for him to sustain himself and last longer in a fight, get the resets, get more targets.
You have to be careful.
Here he comes.
Going in though.
He popped it once at least, so he is looking for Neil.
This is still quite a difficult spot for Babyface. There's so much vision that FIT has around the entrances to which Babyface can rotate around. It seems like right now they're just choking slowly UST out.
Ooh, I mean, this is a classic scenario where pressure beats everything here.
It seems like Cell is feeling it along with it. FIT just keeps stealing whatever resources the UST can have, but this could be a mistake from the FIT.
United, Babyface still chasing down. He gets the taunt on to the Caitlyn. There's no secure there by a UST. Looks like Neil will be walking away. Same with the Jarvan. That's going to be a very huge setback for UST. They were trying to get the targets. They failed, but now they can try and get the mid lane turret.
They have to focus the turret here because it was so close to being destroyed the last time that they were here. It seems like here they rightfully take it down. Very close there for FIT. Seems like they got caught by the assassination potential of Babyface, but right there, it wasn't enough to actually finish it off because he's not, as I said, ahead.
If
but
he
it's
had
still enough to push them away.
Yeah, if he had the Dust Blade at that fight, that would have been that Caitlyn.
But for now, he should have enough gold at this point to actually build that item. But Infernal Drake is really calling to them.
Oh, the Spiegel gets locked down by the Camille. That's a bad call from Ashira. 4 members already quick to response, and that could be the karma at stake here. Very low on health. There's the jump from Spiegel. He will be taking down
and reset.
The Lulu gets the reset here from Threshold.
I think that's the limit of what he can do, but this does open up the Infernal Drake for UST. It will be risky for FIT to try and steal this. Right now, they should just push out the waves and get their gold value back by going back. It seems like, nope, not fast enough. Mint has to back off.
This is a great bonus for UST. They have the Infernal Drake, and now let's see how they will benefit from that passive.
So far, it seems like the territory that... Oh, that is a gutsy move there, knowing that UST has to recall to get their gold, to get their mana back.
This is UST without vision here. This could be a blind Baron.
They're pinging it. Seems like they have a little bit of an idea, but that is a Baron highly, highly low. Babyface, he actually steals
the steal. He may just die here, but he gets the steal from the Baron. That would be FIT not really respecting the respawns coming from the Kazakhs.
I can already hear the mariachi band singing in this fiesta right now. Seems like Babyface dies to get that Baron, but it's very worth it for UST. That means Spiegel and his 2 supports can deal so much damage on these turrets, can just constantly push and siege.
With the Baron in the hands of UST, FIT's efforts to get a blind Baron just been denied. Ashira in now big trouble. Okay, I love how Spiegel tried to deny the hook, but instead he will still be taking the kill. The Buster Shot did not really reposition the Camille big enough for him to get the wall jump off.
Still, that is another kill onto Spiegel. He's now 6-1-3. He's difficult to get to. He's difficult to take down.
He's snowballing right now.
He's actually snowballing so hard, and he's dealing a lot of damage.
3 items already for the Tristana, whereas the Caitlyn has only 2. That is a huge disadvantage for the Caitlyn. And not to mention, the Tristana has more damage thanks to the mines plus the rocket jump resets. It's something that FIT can't deal with right now.
USC has to capitalize on that. Right now, Babyface is the janitor. He cleans up whatever Spiegel leaves for him. And that's actually all right. That could be the win condition for UST right now, is just to keep Spiegel alive. Let him go near the turrets. Let him demolish these structures in FIT's base. And they can just constantly try and pressure everything out of FIT. If
Oh
they can
wow,
continue this
he even
path.
picked up the Lord Dominic's. Oof. That's going to be huge because Giant Slayer passive works really well onto the Jarvan and to the Camille. And this is going to be a huge bonus for UST. 5 items locked down for the Tristana, counting the boots.
Man. That is just scary. If they're able to get near a turret, if they can use this Baron buff effectively, then it's going to be absolutely terrifying. They have to converge around top lane probably, because that's where one of the outer turrets, inner turrets actually are placed, while Cell goes for the bot side. This is a good configuration. They just have to hold their horses and just focus the turrets and focus everything on trying to take down those turrets.
Let's see, the Babyface is going to be going for the Caitlyn. Looking for the right time here, but looks like Zay, I think he's trying to put some effort into pressuring, but it's so hard when Karma has to get near.
Spiegel goes for something.
See, that's the penalty here. Spiegel is not afraid of the Karma. Karma can just be what to try
It's
and
more of an annoyance for Spiegel than anything.
True. I mean, it's like a buzzing fly here. Spiegel doesn't care. You can try your best to look threatening, but you're not threatening at all.
And that's really because the rest of FIT doesn't have enough damage. Ashira, he can be peeled out by Sarah and Cresho. Seth doesn't really deal a lot of damage. He's more of a shielder for Neil with a little bit of CC. He does have the Leonries, but it's not enough to mean a lot, especially...
Flash in, and that will be the death for the Karma. Instant burst from the mine.
That is going to be another turret probably if FIT cannot defend.
Oh, Spiegel, no big trouble. He does make another way with the flash. He will be backing up. Very low on health here. But the turrets, though, it won't be lasting long enough.
Spiegel should really invest in a lifesteal item at this point, because if he takes a lot of damage, it's okay as long as he takes down these structures and then lifesteals off of whatever jungle camp's available.
Oh wow, that's so much clear from UST onto the turret.
They're slowly choking FIT out. This time they're the ones with the offensive. Oh, damage. Neil has to back off. This could be a short opportunity for FIT to try and make a play, but it seems like the threat of the traps, the threat of the grasping roots is quite enough to deter them.
I mean, we were talking about this Kha'Zix being the potential one to snowball, but that's not the case here. Thankfully, that the Tristana is doing the best he could. I mean, Spiegel's doing his best into carrying his team, because Kha'Zix Babyface did not pop off in the early phases of the game. So let's see though, FIT will have to change their focus onto the Tristana. But what real champion can lock it down? The Camille can instantly be countered by the Buster Shot.
Even the Monsoon
Even
is
the Monsoon itself. But the Zyra, maybe the Zyra could do something about it.
Perhaps the root and the rest of the damage from FIT could break through the wild growth, the Eye of the Storm that is keeping Spiegel alive. But they have to time it so perfectly, and they have to disable any of the protection that he's receiving.
Ooh, I mean, 3 minutes into the game, Baron will be live in 1 minute and 56 seconds. This will be the second Baron. We'll see if FIT will be managing to take away their first Baron for themselves, because it was taken away by Babyface.
However, at this point, UST is the one that is clearly ahead. So if they are doing a Baron, they have to do it with perfect vision and perfect control.
And this will be the Mountain Drake, possibly going towards UST. That's going to help him more in pushing power and possibly the Baron contest.
Yeah, just a 10% bonus is helpful, but it seems like
they're
Spiegel
ignoring
just,
everything.
Yeah, just double down on the bot lane.
We're just waiting for the right time to strike. Let's look at the bot lane here. 4 members already.
They have to recall. It seems like they will have a little bit of free time. Should be around 3 seconds at least with this turret.
That turret's not going to last that long, thanks to Tristana. One more hit for the bomb, though. Wow, look at the damage. Look at from full health down to almost 1/4 of its health in just what, 3 seconds?
And like I said, that is quite dangerous situation for FIT. Good thing for them is that Ashira can actually pressure out Cell much more than Cell can pressure him out.
The traps don't mean anything to Tristana. The range itself, thanks to the rapid fire cannon, will be more than enough to just poke down the turret slowly.
He has GA as well, so man, it's just a lot of detection, lots of safety for Espiegel. If he ever goes down, they have contingencies upon contingencies. For now, they have to reset and see if they can actually find a different angle of attack against FIT. Baron's up in 15 seconds, and that's really the objective that they should look for.
Let's see, though. The Baron will be live in 10 seconds. Will UST take it away, though? If they do take this Baron away without any casualties, they could possibly, you know, siege turrets better. Possibly take down 2 inhibitor turrets if they wish to do it. I mean, they can just feel like it. They can just take away the game itself.
You have to be absolutely precise with how they take this Baron. FIT seems to be posturing for something by trying to gain control of this territory in terms of vision.
Jarvan, though, very up position here. Babyface gets caught out. There's stuff that goes into
he's jumping in.
Oh, he does pop the flash from D. When it comes to Stan United here, so that will be one will be removed. Still going for the chop. He's not being touched just yet. The Spirit's Refuge helping the Shen to survive
should
longer.
be their signal to go for the Baron. That is Mint having to recall. It seems like UST has control over this area except for the Rift Scuttler. Mint has to recall here. Perhaps they can't get the Baron because Babyface is really low.
And not to mention, it's a bad position for themselves because if ever this Jarvan comes back, he's ready with the Cataclysm.
Has to be careful as well, but seems like right now could be recalling, should just be able to shove out this wave once and then regroup. Look at Spiegel, he's fearless.
Listen, this is a frontliner right now. I mean, Lifesteal would have worked really well for him, but you don't need Lifesteal when you have a huge redemption. You have the Monsoon, you have the Janna, you don't need it.
So far, however, it seems to be working out for them. Let's see. The Baron is still the center point of all of these plays right now. Every single point of pressure for both of these teams is so that they can go for something near the Baron pit. Maybe a bait, maybe even try and sneak it out. But right now, this is a very perilous dance for both FIT and UST.
Let's see. I mean, Elder Drake will be live too. If the Elder Drake spawns, this is double pressure for both teams. If they give the Baron, they could possibly give the Elder. Or maybe they could just trade things off, be friendly to each other.
But that is going to be a lot more helpful for FIT if they are able to get the Elder Drake. While the Baron buff will just help Espiegel take down his turrets much, much faster. But do note that right now, Baron is the only objective up. And that is going to be the apple of their eye. They are going to dance around it. Every single point of vision is centered around this purple worm.
And everyone's eye is onto the Tristana because of the huge lead that Spiegel got from the bot lane. So, who is the real assassin here for FIT? No one, because their lineup is built for more long team fights.
Yeah, it's more for sustaining, and then
sustained
Babyface.
Fights, sustained damage. But when you're talking about sustained fights, it's not going to be the case for UST. They just want to go in and out. They have the Kazakhs, they have the Tristana. So at this point, the drafting itself from FIT is showing, and UST's draft, what I would say, is a bit more clever.
They just have to execute this very, very well. Babyface needs to stop getting caught randomly and having to burn his ultimate, because that is a very useful tool to use with the Dustblade.
Oh, he got Babyface going out the mid. Gets a lot of damage here. He does flash him against the Stan United. Espiegel is remaining unprotected, but he does flash away. Teleport is going to come through. Ashino is here. Babyface. Big trouble here. They're keeping the lockdown from Ashino, but 4 members are clumped up together. And there's the double kill. There's the reset. There's the Monsoon for the heal. Espiegel goes in with the rocket jump. There's the reset onto deal. This could be game set for UST.
That timer's around half a minute. They have a lot of time to at least take down these inhibitors. They could just go straight for the Nexus in this one. 20 seconds on Min, 30 seconds on the Shira and D. I think they can actually get this if Neil cannot stop him. Look at that.
He does not stop. He just wants kills for kills. He just ignores the turrets, goes straight on to Neil. And with that being said, first turret is down, and this could be possibly game set
this is definitely game set.
Yes,
Neil
game
is
set
not
for
enough.
UST.
FIT falls under UST as they pounce on the Tamaraos.
So with that said, Tama Tigers will be taking away Game 1 of Match 3 for the LVL 2-9. What a game it was, especially for the Tristana. I was expecting the Kazakhs to be the star of the show here, but especially when you're that much ahead on Tristana, 7-1-3. Well, everyone only has 2 items. You have 4, you have 5.
You just keep snowballing that lead. Babyface, I think, was unfortunate in terms of the timing for the ganks. He was not able to really put out the pressure that he should. But the rest of his lanes also played pretty decently. But in terms of how the late game played out, having those 2 supports together with his Spiegel just allows him to just jump around and be so aggressive.
So that concludes Game 1 of Match 3. Don't go away just yet. We'll be having a short break moving on to Game 2 to see if the Tamaras will be bouncing back. We've been your Shotcasters. My name is Vulcan, and with me was Atlas. See you after the short break. He's going off the mid. Gets all the damage here. He does flash him against the Stag United. Espiegel is remaining unprotected, but he does flash away. Teleport is going to come through. Ashino is here, babyface. It's all here. They're quickly locked up from Ashino, but 4 members are clumped up together. And there's the double kill. There's the reset. There's the bounce for the heal. Espiegel goes in with the rocket jump. There's the reset onto deal. This is good.
Stop him. Look at that.
He does not stop. He just wants kills for kills. He just ignores the turrets, goes straight onto Neil. And with that being said, first turret is down, and this could be possibly game set.
This is definitely game set.
Yeah, game set for UST.
FIT falls under UST as they pounce on the Tamaras.
So with that said,
not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.